Good gracious, it's Henry, champion of the rat-eye tourney.
Well, young sir, what now? Shall we ride boldly forth to adventures new?
I never took you for a romantic soul. But, as it happens, a romantic soul is just what I need by my side right now.
What, here? Now? Aren't we leaving?
Ah, that's just the thing. Here we are, about to ride off into the unknown. Well, who knows what fate has in store for us? What if we should fall as heroes on the battlefield? How could I depart this world with a quiet heart, never having known true love?
I'm a little worried about you, sir. Aren't you getting overheated inside that armor?
Look, I can't just go off and get my head chopped off somewhere without first winning the heart of the girl I love. So are you going to help me or not?
Well, affairs of the heart are what I do best. I'll be glad to help you. So what do you want me to do?
You, Hal, shall be my messenger of love. You shall bear her a letter and a gift from a secret admirer.
Why me? It's not like you to be bashful, Sir Hans. You can just go and tell her,
Certainly not. Carolina is different to the others. She was educated in a convent and needs to be handled with kid gloves. Romanced. I must court her secretly. It's the latest fashion in France.
And who is this Carolina?
The fairest maid that ever walked the earth. Carolina. The butcher's daughter. You must have noticed a divine creature in the marketplace. Unless you're more interested in barnyard animals.
Carolina, I do know her. She's a pretty girl, all right, but, well, a little below your station.
Love knows no station but the heart. And you keep your peasant eyes off her. Your task is simple. All you have to do is get hold of a necklace fine enough to grace her lovely neck. I did have one that I inherited from my great-grandmother. Unfortunately, not anymore.
What happened to it?
I lost it playing dice at the inn. But you'll get it back for me. You're a smart lad. I'm sure you'll figure out a way. And I'll reward you handsomely.
Oh, all right then. Is there something else I should know about this necklace?
I lost it at dice in the Ledechko tavern when I was there to see... Well, that's not important.
So you bet a rare family heirloom, even though you don't know how to play dice?
I do know how to play dice, as long as the other fella doesn't cheat. No doubt he'll still be sitting there, swindling other folk out their hard-earned groschen.
Well, then you ought to have had him clapped in the stocks. All right, if that's what you want, I'll go to Ledechko and find this swindler of yours.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Goodbye.
God be with you.
Are you the one who played dice with Lord Capon?
Played and won, lad. Fine noble he may be, but he can no more throw dice than I can read Latin.
I can't disagree with you there. But look here, have you still got that piece of jewellery you want from him?
No, I don't. Some noble rode through here and we had a game or two. Only them dice kept falling his way. I was lucky to keep my boots. He's got the necklace now.
Did you know where this fellow was heading?
He was waiting for someone here, but when they didn't show up by midday, he rode on. He mentioned something about camping by the bridge over the Sasau River. That one before the charcoal burners camp. You might still catch him there with a bit of luck.
There aren't many fords along the river on the way to Sasau. Can you tell me anything else about him?
Fine gent he was, well dressed, on horseback. Had quite a lot to say. Seems he saw a bit of the world. And he had some interesting looking dice.
You said they fell well for him?
Aye, and no wonder. Fine dice they was, made special. All shiny and whatnot.
That's all I need to know.
God be with you.
You after something? I'm afraid my friend here won't tell you much.
Your friend? Oh, I'm very sorry. And, well, I don't want to be insensitive, but I was hoping to get something from him. My master's necklace, which he won at dice.
Your master? Who would that be?
Well, Sir Radzig Kobyla of Skalitz is my liege lord. I'm Henry, but just now I'm helping Sir Hans Capon with a private matter.
Those are weighty names in these parts. I'm Sir Anselm of Domkey, in the service of... well, that's not important. I'd like to give you... that is... I'd like to ask you for your help.
I'm listening. Tell me what you know.
I will. And I'm sure it will help you find that necklace. The thing is, this is all my fault. I got held up on the way to meet Alphonse. By the time I got here, I found him like this.
God have mercy on his soul.
Amen, lad. I was heartbroken and enraged by turns, tearing my hair and cursing. Alphonse was my good friend, and it pains me to know he was only here on account of me. I brought him into a certain business matter to negotiate with some people, and he agreed. And this is how it ended up. When I finally pulled myself together, I took a look around and found some tracks. I followed them to the camp of those very brigands that Alphonse was supposed to negotiate with.
Nah, you can't trust anyone these days. So how can I help?
You can pass yourself off as Alphonse. Get into the bandits' camp and find that fucking murderer. And when you do, you'll find what you're looking for.
That doesn't make any sense. If one of them killed Alphonse, he'll know I'm not him.
No. They never saw him before. So whoever killed him surely took him for some passing merchant.
Are you quite sure they don't know him?
Aye. He moved in altogether different circles, among decent people. That's the very reason I asked him for help. So I reckon the best thing is for you to introduce yourself as Alphonse, have a snoop around, and come back to me when you find out anything.
Is there anything else I should watch out for while passing myself off as Alphonse?
The main thing is to look and sound like a noble, not a peasant, a commoner. So dress the part. No rags or rusty iron.
And how am I supposed to recognise the killer?
Ask around. I don't reckon anyone will admit to stabbing him in his sleep, but you might pick up some clue. You could have a look around for that necklace. Now that I think of it, they stole other valuables from him too.
Silver is silver, though. I won't recognise anything. Didn't he have something unique? A signet ring or chain or...
No, not that I can... Oh yes, he did. Dice. He had a set of dice made specially in Prague. It was his pride and joy. They were red and gold, bright and shiny. Not the kind of thing you'd overlook.
What can you tell me about Alphonse, so they don't catch me out if they start asking questions?
Indeed. A few details should suffice. He was from Slani, but lived in Prague the last few years. He advised people, very well too. He helped them to deal with problems, of all kinds.
Yeah, he sounds like a man of the world, but I've never even been to Prague. I'm not sure I can fool them.
You can always change the subject. He was an ardent dice player, God forgive him, and he spent some time in Moravia on the service of Prokop of Luxembourg. But that was ages ago.
What do you know about the brigands in that camp?
Actually, they're not just ordinary bandits. It's a robber baron and his band, Sir Erhard Baron Bielowitz. Some of his vassals and maybe some commoners. They came here in the hope they'd have a better chance of keeping their heads.
Why don't you ask some of the local lords for help? I'm sure the Sasau custodian would lend you a few men.
There's nothing I'd like to see more than the lot of them strung up. Only I have a task that conflicts with that. And as for the custodian, I'm pretty sure Sir Sebastian is in league with Erhard.
What was the purpose of Sir Alphonse's negotiations? I'll need to know that.
Look, Henry, you'd best avoid that subject if at all possible. Just find the murderer for me, get your necklace, and I'll take care of the rest.
It'll be a bit hard to avoid that, since it was supposed to be the entire purpose of his visit.
True. Well, Alphonse was supposed to talk Erhard into moving his robbing raids towards Benešov, especially holding up merchants' wagons heading for Prague. In return, he was to offer a reward of up to 12,000 groschen and safe haven in Pilgrims.
I see. So you work for someone in Pilgrims?
No, neither Pilgrims nor Benešov, nor Vlachim for that matter. It's a bit complicated. Damn politics.
My word, the whole thing sounds like quite a twisted affair.
So are you going to help me?
I'll help you. I'll have to go there to look for the necklace anyway, and this seems as good a way as any.
Thanks 1,000-fold. And for the love of God, don't get caught. I'd never forgive myself if another man lost his life on my account. If it starts to look risky, take to your heels.
I'll bear that in mind. There's something else I'd like to ask. I've no more questions. Looks like he died without a struggle. Maybe killed in his sleep. They took everything he had. Money, jewellery, even his boots. Someone was searching for something here. Were they out to rob him of everything he had, or something in particular? Could it be someone was trying to get rid of something here? Would I be right in assuming this is the encampment of Sir Erhard, Baron Bielewitz?
You must be Sir Alphonse, eh? All the way from Prague, eh?
What's that?
Not at all.
Who are
Goodman.
you?
From Slaney.
Ah, well, that's quite a haul. How was your journey?
As well as might be expected in these perilous times.
Oh, aye. The roads ain't safe at all these days. There's all sorts of rabble waiting to rob unwary folk and even kill them.
Indeed, indeed, I concur. One must be wary, well, cautious even, when travelling.
Right then, but you'll have to wait a while. Sir Erhard is busy at the moment.
No matter, I shall just,
But it's easy to pass the time here. There's always a dice game going on, with nice things being wagered. I had my eye on a fine pair of gauntlets, and some old piece of jewelry.
Jewellery, you say?
That's right. Just go and see old Blaha, the fellow sitting at that table there. He can read, write, and do sums as good as any scribe, and other things, too. He keeps things in shape here a bit.
Thank you. I may well do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get soaked. What else is there to do here?
What a shitty day. I need a good scrap to cheer me up.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
What can I tell you? I can read and write a bit, and I help Sir Erhard out when he needs it. Although, I have to say, since the Baron took to robbing, there's not much work for me anymore.
And what did he do before that?
What every landed noble does. He still had some estates and income from them, only he lost it all some years ago on account of debts. So he had to find some other livelihood.
How did you find this place?
That was my doing. I heard from a scribe about some ownership feud that ended up badly for both sides. Since then, it's been left neglected.
Oh, that's a shame. No doubt it was once a fine place.
Aye, the vagaries of fortune, eh? Times are harsh and what have you. It's always been that way and always will. I wonder how many burned out, abandoned ruins will be left when Sigismund withdraws. How many folk will have no homes to return to? And how many won't be returning ever? But that's our lot in this vale of tears. There'll be no peace and quiet till the next life.
Amen to that. I was told I could have a game or two here until Sir Erhard has time to see me.
Aye, he's got his hands full at the moment. You must be Sir Alphonse, eh? I'm Blaha, Sir Erhard's servant. I take care of things here a bit.
Including dice? It has come to my attention that there are interesting things being wagered.
True enough, we've got a fine pair of plate gauntlets, 2 necklaces, one of them's a lovely piece, a good sharp sword, and some other things, I don't remember what. The custom here is if you want to play, you've got to wager something to join.
Do you really think it's appropriate to ask your lord's guest to pay for his own entertainment?
Since you put it that way, sir. No, perhaps not. You want to play right away, or...?
No hurry. It'll wait a while.
With your luck, it's going to be a big month. With no shoes at all. Don't even say that. Seriously, I'm just going to...
What the hell was that? No one to rob here. Fucking boring. Must be going there.
I'm so hungry I could eat my boat.
Killing, fighting, never losing, robbing, fucking whores and boozing. Take the women, burn the village, drink and
Can I ask you something?
Ask away. Anything to pass the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get soaked. What else is
And how are things here? Do you get away much?
We ain't allowed to leave. So I've been here the whole time. I don't mind though. There's always something to pass the time. And we've got that wench.
You're my daughter, right?
I am. Why'd you ask?
Just curious. This is quite an interesting retreat you men have here.
You could put it that way. I ain't been here long though. I helped them out of a tight spot and they took me with them.
filth and stink?
Is that right?
Should have stayed
How did that
home.
happen?
Well, I was lying in wait for this wagoner, see? Because he'd been mouthing off about me, so I figured I'd take all he had for compensation. Anyway, I'm hiding there in the bushes, and I hear this wagon coming. So I jumped out to ambush him. Only it wasn't that wagoner, but some merchant. As soon as he saw me with my weapon drawn, he started screaming bloody murder. And next thing, his armed escort comes charging up and I was the one ambushed. The injustice of it.
Vexing indeed.
Aye. Anyway, they caught me and took me with them. They figured I was Sir Erhardt's spy, and they wanted me to lead them to him. Of course, I told them I didn't know what the fuck they were on about. So, while they were threatening to break me on the wheel, string me up and what have you, along comes the Baron with his merry band, and they lay into the soldiers and send them running for the hills. And ever since then, I've been riding with them.
That is quite an entertaining anecdote.
Ain't it just? If it hadn't been for me, the fellows would have run straight into a trap and it'd all be up with them. So, it's on account of me, they're still alive.
That's all.
I'm gonna get soaked. What else is there to do here?
I was told I could have a game or two here until Sir Erhardt has time to see me.
Aye, he's got his hands full at the moment. You must be Sir Alphonse, eh? I'm Blaha, Sir Erhardt's servant. I take care of things here a bit.
Including dice? It has come to my attention that there are interesting things being wagered.
True enough, we've got a fine pair of plate gauntlets, 2 necklaces, one of them's a lovely piece, a good sharp sword, and some other things, I don't remember what. The custom here is if you want to play, you've got to wager something to join.
Do you really think it's appropriate to ask your lord's guest to pay for his own entertainment?
Since you put it that way, sir. No, perhaps not. You want to play right away, or...
Why wait? I'll play now.
No beating around the bush. That's the way. You'll play against Noggin now. He's not the brightest, and he ain't a good loser.
Yeah, I'm gonna get soaked. What else is there to do here?
Filth and stink everywhere. Should have stayed home. Camp life sure ain't easy. Fuck.
Rivers of blood that...
You're a fucking cheat. Sir, I challenge you to a duel.
I'm gonna get so...
I won't take any accusations from you. I accept.
Good scrap.
Give me your coin, and you can go free.
What's to be done?
Don't even say that. Seriously, I'd sooner go barefoot and have to fight in these turd skins.
Fucking sick head. Fuck, I'll drink no more today.
I'm almost sober again.
I want to play dice. Who will be my opponent?
They fell your way last time, and no mistake. You'll play Berta. He's a man, but they call him that for some reason. Damned if I know why.
I got a piss.
I've got a piss.
I want to play dice. Who will be my opponent?
They fell your way last time, and no mistake. You'll play against Maladota. He's a bit... well...
What a
You'll see
shit
for
day.
yourself.
I need a good scrap to cheer me up.
Sir Erhard will receive you now.
I just...
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ upon you, Baron Belevets. I'm honoured to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is mine, sir. We haven't had any interesting visitors here for a long time, and I'm keen to hear what news you bring. And then there's the matter of our trade.
Indeed, we certainly have much to discuss, sir.
Good. And how was your journey, Sir Alphonse?
Long and somewhat fatiguing, truth be told.
Ah, would you rather put off our talks until later?
No. I shall be glad to deal with our business right away, but I'd rather tell you the latest news later.
Very well. If you wish to skip the pleasantries, let's get down to business. From what I've heard, you have some proposal for me that would involve departing from Vlashim?
Yes, essentially. We need to divert attention elsewhere.
I just want to eat and sleep. Fucking weather. Fuck. Fucking tent.
To Benishov.
Fucking camp.
I know Benishov well. That could be done. And who are we to devote our attention to?
Merchant wagons.
Of course. How better to put the fear of God in the townsmen than to relieve them of their silver? Do you want us to conduct our business on any particular road?
The road to Prague.
That makes sense. Aye. And what's in it for us? If terrorizing folk is what you want, there might not be much profit in it.
I should think 12,000 groschen is a reasonable reward.
Very reasonable. We can certainly agree on that. And that's everything?
Filth. Stink everywhere. Should I
I can also offer you a safe hideout, if you should have need of it.
Well, it's always useful to have somewhere to lie low. Where is it?
In Pilgrims. A nice house you can use for a month or two.
It's not that far, but I like the sound of it. That's all acceptable. I agree then. Now we've settled our business, you can go and rest. We'll talk later when you feel up to it.
Thank you, Sir Erhard.
I just want to eat and sleep. And fuck.
They do. Unless bastards like him, they're all in the world.
You need to go barefoot and have to fight in these turd skins.
I want to play dice. Who will be my opponent?
They fell your way last time, and no mistake. Then there's Pekuna. He's a local fellow who brings stuff for us. He put up a nice necklace as his wager.
How did I do? Have I won?
Actually, nobody won. You and Pekuna have the same score, so you'll have to play one more game to decide the victor.
Well, let's play then.
Is he here again?
How did I do? Have I won?
Well now, Sir Alphonse, you took 'em all by storm. Here's the key to the prize.
Thank you kindly.
Fucking sick.
I have good news for you, Sir Anselm. I know who killed your friend.
Who was it?
It was Mladotta, one of the brigands.
How did you find out?
From the dice.
All right. I'll take care of it from here. And I owe you for helping me. Here, Henry, take this. I'm sorry I don't have more on me. But if you're ever in Prague, come and look me up, and I'll see you're well taken care of.
It's been a pleasure, Sir Anselm. Godspeed.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
I've got that necklace.
Excellent news! I'm not going to ask you how you did it. Here's a reward for you. Now you can carry on with your next task. I want you to sneak the jewellery into Carolina's trunk along with this letter.
Can't I just hand them to her?
You cannot! Under no circumstances must she find out who sent them. Otherwise the whole secret admirer ploy is fucked. Oh, and by the way, Henry, watch out for the butcher. He keeps a very close eye on his daughter, and if he catches you sniffing around, well, may all the saints preserve you. Once you've delivered the things, wait a day, and then come back and see me. Goodbye. Well, Henry, it cost me a lot of effort, but it seems I've finally succeeded in making a half-decent warrior out of you. Anything I can do for you?
I delivered the things as you asked.
I already know. My spies told me everything. She was wearing the necklace this morning, as I asked in the letter.
So you'll go to the rendezvous with her?
Certainly not. I'm not going to pounce on her like a bull in rutting season. Her feelings must be allowed to mature gradually. Meanwhile, you'll get a potion for me.
I thought you didn't believe in witches' brews.
This is no witch's brew. It's an absolutely tried and tested elixir called Musk of Infinite Allure. There's a fellow in Sasau who sells it, and he guarantees its success.
Musk of Infinite Allure? Sounds irresistible. All right, I'll try and get it for you.
I'm sure I can rely on you. Here's some coin for your costs. God be with you.
Huh. I know you. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from?
What?
Of course, my dream. You were in a boat made of bones, and I put a crown of thorns on your head.
Vegetables, fresh vegetables. Look.
I've heard you know of some irresistibility potion or whatever it is.
Ah, naturally, Musk of Infinite Allure, an age-old recipe, maybe even older, tested by Moses himself.
Moses?
How do you think he managed to get his people to follow him through the desert for 40 years? It's extremely potent.
Yeah, so it would seem. How much do you want for it?
Who do you take me for? The wisdom of the ancients isn't something that's bought and sold in the marketplace. Did Jesus charge for his miracles? But since you ask, how about this much?
That's not much.
Really? All right, double then.
What? Why? You... Oh, why do I even bother?
If you'd like, I can mix the elixir for you in exchange for a small favor. This is a matter that demands experience and knowledge of the philosophical arts that only a few possess. It's not a task I can trust to just anyone.
But to your apprentice, you can, right?
See, you read my mind.
About that recipe.
Yes, you want to buy it?
Yes, I need it right away.
I understand. I'm sure you'll be more than satisfied with it.
Well, I won't be drinking it, fortunately.
Carrots that'll make you and your family happy. Onions that'll make you cry. And garlic that'll keep evil spirits at bay.
Quiet. quiet!
Greetings. What business have you?
I got you that potion from the charlatan.
What charlatan? He's a man of learning who even cured the Pope of impotence. But thanks, Henry. I really appreciate your help. Once I drink this potion, every woman will faint at my feet. But I'm only interested in one. The fairest creature on God's green earth.
Yeah, the butcher's daughter, I know. And then what?
A rendezvous. She and I, under the cloak of night. And you shall be my herald of exalted words. You will hide and prompt me from a book of poetry.
I'll do what?
Here's a book of poems. I'll need a little time to get ready. Meanwhile, you can learn some poems off by heart. You'll prompt me.
Learn poetry? Me? That sounds... well, not exactly...
Stop wasting time and get to it. Come back to me in a couple of hours. I have to get dressed up and groomed, and it'll take a while before the potion takes effect.
God be with you.
Are you ready, Sir Hans?
Henry, something's gone wrong.
Open up. I'm not going to talk to the door.
That potion tasted rather odd, and now I have a feeling my face is broken out. How do I look?
No offence, sir, but you gave me quite a fright. It looks as though you've slept with your head inside a wasp's nest.
God's holy breeches, I knew it! And it's nearly time for my rendezvous with Carolina. What am I going to do?
You just sit tight, and I'll go and find you some antidote.
All right. But hurry, Henry. I can't wait any longer.
The best cure for this kind of thing is marigold decoction. I can get you that right away.
God bless you. What troubles you?
I've got a remedy for you.
About time. Give it here. As soon as I'm healed, we'll go.
See you later.
It's gone. I'm as gorgeous as before. Let's go. We're almost there. You'll hide behind a gravestone or in the bushes and don't budge from there. Otherwise you might scare her off. Hide, Henry. Time to get started.
How do you know it's her who will come out and not someone else?
She got the letter and necklace, didn't she? She knows that that is, her secret admirer is coming.
And what am I supposed to do?
What do you think, dolt? Prompt me from that book of poetry.
gonna move on. I don't want to turn up late to see the love of my life.
Who's there? I can't see you.
Your most ardent admirer, fair maid.
Uh-huh. And do you have a name?
What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would still be a flower, wouldn't it? Start. How?
What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Gentle night, why linger on? I yearn thus for my love so long. Without her words to still my breast, who shall set my soul to rest?
Gentle knight, why linger on? I earned this from my love so long. Whip out your worthy silky breasts. Who shall suck my salty bits?
No! And now my heart in sorrow dwells, from melancholic pining swells, since I, alas, was forced to part from the mistress of my heart.
I know my horses sort of well. Some alcohol from 9 to 12. Seems I always have whores apart from the mistress of my heart.
Psst! What on earth are you saying?
What's that hissing?
It's a feral goose here in the bushes.
Ah, Lord, let me not wait in vain. I long to see my love again. O gentle sir, be of good cheer. I shall not cling to another dear.
Landlord, let me not wait in vain. I long to sing and laugh again. O gentle sir, get off your chair. I shall not bring you another beer.
Jesus, Henry! What kind of yokel nonsense are you babbling? Me? You're the one who's babbling.
You're an odd one. I've never heard such peculiar poetry in my life. Where on earth did you come up with it?
It's the latest fashion in France.
You've done enough harm. Better shut up and leave it to me.
How did you like it, dearest?
Ah, how tender you are. Father is coming! Hide!
Who is that talking? If it's some dandy again, I'll gut him with my filleting knife.
I didn't hear anyone.
Did you hear what he said?
But I have a bad feeling about this, Hans. I think we should...
Are you still there?
Still here, my love. How could I have apart from you?
Father's coming! He'll kill you!
He will not. Because it'll never cross his mind where I'll be. Henry, it's time for me to claim my prize. Whatever happens, cover my back.
There you are, you seducer! Now you'll see how a butcher protects his daughter's honor.
Buy me time.
You got some explaining to do, you bastard!
What are you after, you bastard, sneaking around an honest citizen's house in the dark?
I went to mourn over the grave of my great-grandmother.
Oh, yeah. Then what are you doing right beneath my window, eh?
Well, the question is, why are you trampling on great-granny's grave, eh?
Enough of your horse shit. One more word, and I'll have you.
You really came.
How could I not, my dearest?
Not so fast, Prince Charming. But, since you're here...
Hey, what was that?
What was what?
That noise. I'm sure I heard a strange noise.
We're here in the cemetery. Maybe restless spirits, what do you reckon?
I'd swear it came from the window of my own house.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Someone's been creeping around after my daughter. I come out, and I find you here. Quite a coincidence, eh? So, out with the truth.
You're quite mistaken. I've never laid eyes on your daughter, and if she looks anything like you, I'd rather keep it that way.
Why, you fucking...
Mon petit lapin.
There's a lace here. Untie it.
Don't try to make a fool of me. I heard it clearly. What was that?
Are you alright? It seems to me you're hearing things other folk can't hear. That's not good.
You're saying I'm hearing voices in my head?
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. St. Euphrosyne of Polotsk heard voices too, and she founded a monastery and churches and things.
I heard voices too. Well, could have been voices. I wouldn't swear to it though.
Look, fellas, I was standing right here and I didn't hear a thing. Do you take me for a madman?
Whatever you are, I want to know what you're doing under my daughter's window and who was talking to her. I heard it clear as day.
Good neighbour, it can't be denied that old age dulls a man's ears. I'm here alone, praying for the souls of the good people resting in the cemetery. I've nothing to do with your daughter.
That voice sounded different to yours, though. But where did he get to? You must have seen him. Unless you're covering for him.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Jasem skutni hori kodelnikov syn.
What the fuck are you playing at? My patience is wearing thin.
Jasem skutni hori kodelnikov syn.
Jesus, stop your damn screeching.
Nakopeczku stala plakala. Jezu, Jezu, Maria, volala, volala. Jezu, Maria, Jezu, jemine. Budale tu chlapec, nebo ne. Budale tu chlapec, nebo ne.
Christ almighty. Let's go, fellas. This one ain't right in the head. The guards will have him for screeching after curfew. Let's not get mixed up in it. But if I ever see you here again, I'll beat some sense into your idiot skull.
Greetings. What do you need?
How did it go with Carolina, Sans?
Henry, it was the most wonderful night of my life. She was completely entranced by my courting. I hardly had to touch her, and she melted in my arms. And then she took me to paradise. It was glorious. It was sublime. Thanks, in part, to you, my faithful henchman and messenger of love. You've earned your reward.
It was an honour, Sir Hans. When are you going to see her again?
Oh, I'm not going to see her again. All beautiful things must come to an end, and, after all, I am a nobleman, and she is the butcher's daughter.
Well, that's how it ends, with the love of your life. After the secret gifts, the letters, the intrigues, reciting poetry in the moonlight.
My eloquence was wasted on her, Henry. Imagine, the silly cow couldn't even read. She returned the letter to me unopened. Here's the letter, Henry. Read it. At least you're capable of appreciating my literary talent. Read and learn from a poet. God be with you.
And well, I'm sure we can come to some agreement, your lordship.
Well, bearing in mind, Master Butcher, that we have nothing to come to agreement about yet.
Well, yes, sir. No, sir. Well, I thought I ought to let you know what happened. My daughter's good name could be dragged through the mud. And his young lordship's too, of course.
Well, only if she should find us... Only if she should find herself with a permanent reminder.
Well, that could happen yet, sir, couldn't it? If her belly starts to grow. You know how word gets around, and, well, folk would assume that Sir Hans is the father. Even if some other young fellows to come along in the meanwhile, and, well, you know, and we already know the girl can't be watched.
Are you trying to blackmail me? Have you forgotten that I am the lord of this town, and that you are nothing but a stinking butcher?
Oh, God forbid, sir. I'm just thinking of his young lordship's reputation and my girl's. But, of course, if his young lordship was to recognize the bastard as his own and pay for his upbringing...
You can thank your lucky stars you're the only butcher around here. Otherwise, I'd have you out on your ear this very day.
But, sir, I'm only...
Here, take this, you damn scoundrel, and never show your face here again.
Oh, thank you, your lordship. I'm sure this will be enough. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly.
Blasted fool, capon. I'll wring his neck. I'll have his balls on a platter!
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
I wanted to ask you a few things. What do you think about Sir Jobst and his plan?
Well, I admit all the scheming has me a little lost. I thought Sigismund was the devil, Wenceslao a martyr, those on his side the heroes, and those against him the villains. I believed we'd rescue the king and all would be well again, but now it looks a lot more complicated.
Exactly. I didn't expect the noble lords to be as noble as the angels, but I hadn't expected such a sewer. They behave like children.
I can't fathom how after all this backstabbing they're somehow still on speaking terms.
I don't know either. It beggars belief. Did you know that King Wenceslas is such a...
feckless drunkard? Not really. And to be honest, I'm not sure I wanted to know. I slept better believing my fate was watched over by a wise and powerful monarch.
So did I.
What a dismal world when you can't keep trust in your own king.
On the other hand, times were better with him here than with him gone.
Isn't that the truth?
What do you think of Sigismund?
If I were him, I'd have had enough of my brother even sooner.
But he's a monster. Look at what those hordes of his are getting up to here. What he did in Skalitz.
True enough. On the other hand, if Wenceslas and Prokop hadn't double-crossed him, none of this would have happened.
Well, no one forced him to burn Skalitz.
That's a fact. But he couldn't let them shit all over him either. Not that I'm defending him, mind.
He's a weasel.
No doubt about that.
Do you know anything about Prokop?
Ha! Sir Hanush could tell you a thing or two about him.
Why?
Last winter, a certain Sir Jan Sokol of Lamberg, a well-known knight, or robber baron to some, tried to occupy the city of Iglau, which was on the orders of none other than Prokop.
And what has that got to do with Hanush?
Well, he was there with him. Of course that's not something to brag about in front of Jobst.
And what was it all about?
They wanted to occupy a city that was on the side of the League of Lords, but despite there being several hundred strong, they didn't take it. For one thing, they couldn't get past the Iglau women, with their pitchforks and cauldrons of hot water.
I would never have thought of Sir Hanush as such a rebel. And have you heard anything about Rupert of the Palatinate?
A little. He can't manage even to wrest power from a king who doesn't much care for ruling and isn't fighting back. That doesn't seem like a man who has what it takes to rule. And that's all I need to know.
And that Berghoff we're going to see, do you know anything about him?
I haven't heard much good about him, but I have a feeling that some other nobles are quite in awe of him. And his castle is apparently quite impressive. I'll be interested to see for myself.
And what about the League of Lords?
Wealthy, pompous. The king doesn't seem to like them much. He's chosen to let the lesser ranks of the nobility into his circle, men like your father. I admit I don't blame him one bit, but the lords weren't happy about their lost influence, so they put their foot down.
If I were Wenceslas, I'd have let them hang after they abducted me the first time. But he gave them seats at the provincial council. Little wonder they're back at their old tricks.
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite. Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!